Something that I think is so important to address has to do with perfectionism. Perfectionism, like, huh, I want to try out, I want to try the piano. Oh, but what if I suck? Or what if I never get good at it? Oh, but see, I don't have enough. How can I get the money or this to do that? Like, how can I even afford a piano? Just an example, right? Perfectionism is this idea of trying to get it right the first time, at least how I was told and brought up, and to avoid making a mistake at all costs, or else, disaster. But at times, life is about those trial and errors, sometimes figuring it out, working through the process. It gets messy at times. It just happens. But then there's also that beautiful thing that we're all capable of doing that I do of just, okay, this happened. What did I learn? What would I do differently? And take that with me into the future. But for me, perfectionism, why I've got my own thing like with it, while I feel some type of way about it, is because that very thing, that mental, spiritual disease, can strip me from living my best life. And it put me in a situation where I'm just observing and taking in things, but I'm not creating, I'm not being truly involved, I'm not being here. And I'm placing these limitations when I buy into perfectionism in my head. I'm buying into these limitations. Can't do, should not do, but what if? The amount of excuses that perfectionism can throw my way is an abundance of that crap. But to what it, but the price for that, spiritual implosion. I like to think of it just like, like shaking a can or a bottle of soda and then opening up and it starts to fizzle all out because of just this need to be able to pour my energy into something, doing something involved right here, right now. Especially in our society where we're just so used to just taking in information, just take in, consume, 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 but not enough creating and making and playing with. We need more. I think that's a greater need because it's fulfillment for the soul, baby. Seriously. And I know for me, that's something that I'm working on. I've made a lot of progress, and I just think that's something that needs some light shed on because it definitely can affect. It can stagnate me from so that in such a way that I don't live my life, and I wouldn't want that for anybody. I would want for anybody to live their best life. So if you find yourself thinking about perfectionism or get caught up in that, you can tell it to screw off. Like whatever. I'm gonna do it anyway, and I'll do it with a smile and a little dance, and might have a little step to a little hop to my step, if you will. You know, I'll do it anyway because the last thing I want to do is to stop me from living my life. I wouldn't want anybody. I don't. I wouldn't want you to stop yourself from living your best life, but instead to be your own best ally.